Well, this historic moment could face some challenges in court.
Yeah, to help us understand what this could mean for Democrats and the future nominee, here's Professor of Political Science and Law, Dr. Tony Smith from UC Irvine. Dr. Smith, thank you very much for joining us. What are the legal challenges ahead after the country had voted for Biden-Harris in the primaries? Now Biden's not on the ticket.
Right. Well, here's the thing. Biden is not yet the official nominee. So you get the Speaker of the House is trying to add to the chaos by saying something he knows isn't true. And that is that the ballots can't be changed now. Well, the ballots haven't been printed yet. There is no Democratic nominee for the presidency yet because the convention has not yet anointed one or voted for one. So this is a bunch of nonsense. The Heritage Foundation, no doubt, will come in and file a bunch of lawsuits to make Democrats spend time and energy on those lawsuits and to use the lawsuits to gin up their base, to get that guy that has 20 MAGA hats already and both pairs of Trump shoes to dig a little deeper and give another $20 for the litigation account. But there's really no question about who can appear on the ballot. The courts historically have been loath to take somebody off the ballot if it removes choice from voters. But beyond that, there's not a credible legal basis to say whoever the Democratic convention picks doesn't get to be on the Democratic slot on the ballots. This is a kind of a made-up add to the chaos election strategy by the Republican Party.
Dr. Smith, let's talk about the money that's been raised. We know we're talking about just short of $250 million, I think, right now. Yeah. What happens to that money that's been raised for the Biden campaign?
So this is a real legal issue. Unlike the other one with the ballot access, the real legal issue is that the $230 million or whatever the number is, money that's been raised that was specifically donated to the Biden-Harris campaign. Well, anybody named Biden or Harris that happens to be one of those two people can spend that money, but anybody else can't. It would have to be the FEC rules are kind of Byzantine, but they're kind of also straightforward in that if you didn't raise the money, you don't really get to spend it. Now, they could do things like shift it out to the state Democratic parties and they could spend it. But the other impact on this isn't quite as obvious, and that is the early advertising reservations that the Biden-Harris campaign made at a very good price because they did it early on. Well, they would lose those reservations and a different candidate would have to pay as much as 3 or 4, maybe 5 times as much for their advertising on an ongoing basis. So I think that's one of the reasons you're seeing a rapid coalition around Vice President Harris. Another reason is she's been really effective this campaign season as a surrogate for the Biden administration. So she's done a really good job. We don't see it as much in California because we're not a swing state. But if you were in Michigan or North Carolina or Georgia, you've been seeing Kamala Harris show up and really good, compelling arguments for why excuse me, their policy agenda is better than the Trump version of the policy agenda being presented.
All right. And a quick political question, I guess, at this point. You've seen a lot of endorsements, of course, coming in, Joe Biden being the leader, but you're not seeing the top elected officials within the Democratic Party, at least as far as before we went on the air, that have endorsed Kamala Harris. I'm talking about Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries in the House. The Obamas have not given an endorsement of Kamala Harris. And so what do you make of that?
Right. Well, so the Clintons have endorsed her. A bunch of senators have endorsed her. Jim Clyburn has endorsed her. I think what's going on is a strategic slow rollout so that every day for the next 6-7 days, or even maybe leading up to the convention, you're going to have major lined up endorsements so that it doesn't all happen in one day and look like a coronation. There's going to be a rollout so they can kind of dominate the news cycle with positive news somebody that, at least in their state, is well known, who will come up and talk about why she's a perfect candidate and will do a great job as president. And so I think this is strategic. The Clintons go first. The Obamas will probably do it at the convention or right before. And you've already seen all 50 states Democratic Party chairs have already nominated or already endorsed her. So I think that you're going to see this as a slow rollout and kind of a long parade rather than a rapid coronation.
All right, Dr. Tony Smith, thank you so much for your insight this afternoon. Thank you.